I'm Tom Garner. This is September 1st, 2025. I'm on my gazebo where we do our sessions of my thoughts. And today I'm tackling something that it may take you a bit to see how it relates to the dogs. And I actually haven't guaranteed that everything I'm going to encounter or bring up in the My Thoughts uh, episodes that we do may not have anything to do with dogs. It is what it says. It's my thoughts. Something I've been pondering lately is an aspect of the human experience, of the human condition that uh, I would venture to say that most of us don't spend a whole lot of time pondering. I mean, it's kind of always there, but very often we overlook the trees whenever we're looking at the forest, and vice versa. And sometimes it's necessary to redirect their thought process to look at one or the other wherever the information is. Um, I would ask you to ask yourself the question, um, what would you say was the biggest battle ever faced by humanity? The biggest battle, the biggest point of resolution of conflict. Uh, a lot of us would naturally think, well, World War II, that was a huge battle, um, and involved millions of people for a number of years. And certainly that's got to be one of the defining moments in terms of humans in conflict. And you can think of many other major battles that many of us are not as familiar with. But the point I would make is um, that isn't the primary scene of conflict for humanity at all. The kind of conflict that I want to address today is the conflict that is highly central to uh, the the path in life of the individual, the the paths of groups of people, countries, societies, and it all centers around the conflict that can be best defined by the construct of how much am I willing to suffer for the greater good. And you ponder those words, make it come to life in your mind. How many times a day do we go through that whenever I'm asking myself, am I going to have the pastry for breakfast? Or going to eat what I know is consistent with my healthy diet, which is um, consistent, which is a significant part of my life goals, uh, my self-esteem. How many times a day do we ask ourselves, maybe not exactly in those words, but with the same meaning, how much am I willing to suffer for the greater good? And by the greater good, that can be writ small within the individual, or it can be writ large within the society. So for me, uh, if I know that 2 months from now I want to be 5% body fat, uh, am I willing to suffer those little hunger pangs uh, to and not indulge myself and make that hunger pain go away in order to be on target 2 months from now, or ultimately every day of your life? When it comes to having the self-discipline to get myself in bed at a time that allows me to get the proper amount of sleep. Uh, in other words, my 8 hours in before the 6 a.m. cortisol peak that disrupts all sleep processes. Or can I not deny myself the stimulation that goes along with staying up a little later and watching this video or that TikTok? Um, this basic little construct has truthfully has enabled social functioning. Initially, men were individuals, and probably from individuals to family units, from family units to tribes, from tribes to communities. But all of this transitioning from individual functioning to collective functioning required an understanding with your fellow man that was within your group that he or she was willing to suffer some injury or insult to themselves in order to have your fellow person's back. I think of the movie 300. Whenever you got these guys, these handful of Greeks that are fighting together, and they will honor the principles that allow them to fight together to the extent of taking their own death. But it's that knowledge within the group, within the 300, that that their fellow person was willing to sacrifice on that level in order to honor the principles that would virtually guarantee survival of them all. So again, it is just another uh, manifestation of being willing to suffer uh, for the greater good. So it can be the greater good within one's own individual life, greater good within a social function. But that basic unit of individual functioning uh, lies at the heart of greatness on the individual level and on the collective level. And just coincidentally, our dogs are prime iconic examples of this principle at work. They do it better than anything on this earth. They will stay on task to accomplish a goal, even to their own demise. So I hope some of you are trying this on, wrapping your minds around this, because it is crucial to how you get from where you're at to where you want to be. You have to be willing to defer either gratitude or suffer insult, willingly go through difficulty in order to um, accomplish goals and to meet your objectives and be where you want to be in life. Um, if you need inspiration, get a pit bull. They provide constant reminder that it can be done, and they give us inspiration every day that they're with us, in addition to giving us unconditional love. So, yeah, when I ask myself at 71 years old, why am I surrounded with pit bulls? This is just another one of the answers. Alrighty, hope you found this thought provoking, and thank you for visiting with us. Have a good day.